welcome back to my channel. My name is Afama Omesi. I run the website Reading Middle Grade, and I use my website to highlight the best of middle grade books for ages 8 to 14. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about a wonderful middle grade book titled The Kate in Between by Claire Swinarski. This is a book about a girl named Kate. Now, imagine you had a best friend and they watched you get bullied but said nothing at all. Now imagine that that same best friend gets caught on camera lending you a hand when you were about to sink into thin ice, right after they had just watched you get bullied. But of course, the video of them doing the good deed goes viral and everybody thinks your friend is so great, and they invite her to different TV stations to talk about how great she is and how she helps her friends not get bullied. How would you feel? The character in this story, Kate, unfortunately, is the one who watches a friend get bullied and doesn't do anything at all. But when she tries to help out a friend, the same friend that she watched get bullied just seconds ago, the whole thing is caught on camera and she goes viral on social media and she's hailed as Kate the Great. But deep inside her, Kate knows that she didn't do a great thing. In fact, even her friend, who she supposedly saved, knows that Kate did not do a great thing. How long before this secret comes out on social media, on TV networks, and what is going to happen when Kate's secret gets out? This is the story of the Kate in Between. I love this book so much because it talks about kids and friendship and social media and how all of those things work together and what we can do to be better friends, especially when we see people getting bullied. I would love to read you a chapter, the very first chapter of The Kate in Between. And I hope that if you like this book, you request it from your library, you ask your teachers about it, or your parents to get you a copy of The Kate in Between. Now here we go. Here's chapter 1. Every story has a villain, and the one in this story is me. I need to tell you that right off the bat. Look, all tales need a bad guy. In some books, it's obvious. In Peter Rabbit, you've got Mr. McGregor chasing the poor bunny through his garden with a pitchfork. Harry Potter has Voldemort. Holes has the warden. But sometimes the villain is a little harder to see. Maybe it's a tornado, a person's own self-doubt, or a friend who isn't who you thought they were. Villains don't always walk around with a sign hanging from their neck that says evil, snatching up hopes and dreams. In this story, the one you're sitting down to read, I am the bad guy, okay? Just know that now. This is not a happy-go-lucky fairy tale where a beautiful princess gets rescued by a handsome prince and they ride off into the sunset. This is a story of good versus evil, of expectations versus reality, of cell phones versus your own two eyes. If you feel like I already gave away the ending, don't be upset. Surprises are great, except for when they're not. I once swore to Hattie Marks on a jar of fireflies that we would be best friends until the end of time, and I meant it. Hattie's parents owned the Starfish Center, the pool club on the east side of Madison. Since it belonged to Hattie's family, we got to go for free. We spent almost every summer afternoon there, from the time when we were in first grade and her mom made us wear life jackets, all the way up until the summer before 7th grade, when we'd mostly just dangle our feet in and watch Brett and Nico do cannonballs, splashing Taylor, Tobit, and all her friends. The air always smelled like coconut, sunscreen, and chlorine, and we'd split boxes of Sour Patch Kids, talking about how the next school year was going to change things. That summer, the summer between 6th and 7th grade, things had already started to shift. The air seemed to crackle with change. We'd see a commercial for back-to-school clothes and notice our sunburns starting to fade. Sometimes we felt so grown up, like when Hattie's mom let us have sleepovers in the rec room at the Starfish Center, which was right next door to her house. But other times we felt like little kids. On the last Saturday night before school began, Hattie and I watched fireflies light her backyard on fire, twinkling and winking at us as the sun went down. Our hair was still wet from the post-school showers, and we were starting to shiver in our cut-off shorts and giant sweatshirts. We couldn't help but take a mason jar from her mom's gardening shed to capture as many bugs as possible, poking holes in the top with a pair of scissors. We were way too old for that, and I felt it that summer. The feeling of being too old. But something about it felt right, taking those little sparks of light and holding on to them for as long as possible. We brought our jar into the rec room. Almost as soon as we got our sleeping bag set up, fanned out in front of the old crappy TV, it started to rain. First, a little trickle, pitter-pattering on the windows, and then kaboom! Bursts of thunder and lightning so bright it illuminated our faces. What if 7th grade is totally different? What if we don't have any classes together? Asked Hattie. We'll have lunch, I said. 7th graders had their own lunch period. Same went for 8th graders. But what about Spanish? I'll fail. You know I hate those verb endings and have a mental meltdown. It was true. Then we'll do homework together at night over the phone. I laughed. But anything could happen. What if Hattie, stop? It's still summer. Not for long, she said. And what if everything changes? Hattie had started to cling tighter and tighter to our friendship, as if she felt like I had one foot out the door. I didn't then. At least, I don't think so. Maybe I did. Maybe something about seeing Taylor Tobit French braid her hair and laugh at the boys made me wonder what else was out there besides endless summer afternoons eating Sour Patch Kids with Hattie. But she was my best friend, Hattie, through thick and thin. If she needed promises, I would make them. I grabbed our mason jar of fireflies, putting a hand over the top. I swear on this jar of bugs, of these majestic creatures of light, thank you very much. I swear on this jar and all that is summertime, Hattie Alter Max will be my best friend for all eternity. Stop, you know I hate my middle name. May no powers of East Middle School separate us, and may our schedules be identical. If any forces dare to come between us, may they be cast at the bottom of Lake Mendota. And let us get straight A's and meet new boys on the first day of school who fall madly in love with us, and may Taylor Tobit and Brett Browning be cursed with the Black Plague. Ameneth. I gave the jar a shake, jolting a few bugs awake. Kaboom! We both shrieked as another burst of thunder hit, jolting off the rec room power and leaving us in pitch black darkness. We ran back to Hattie's house in the rain, the storm soaking our pajamas, laughing so hard we could barely breathe. We made a huge bowl of popcorn with an entire stick of butter melted on top once the power turned back on, and watched a black and white Audrey Hepburn movie. Hattie fell asleep first, like always, and I suddenly started to feel bad about those stupid fireflies. We'd forgotten all about them. They didn't belong locked up in a jar, scared and stuck. We could escape from the rec room, but they couldn't escape from their little prison. When the movie was over and it had finally stopped raining, I took the jar outside. I turned it upside down and shook it, letting the bugs fall to the ground. They stayed there for a minute, all dizzy, before finally flying away. And that's the end of the first chapter of this book. This book is also available as an audiobook, so if you love having books read to you, you should definitely try out the audiobook. But if you'd like to read a physical copy, check with your public library or with your school library, or ask your parents to get you a copy if they can. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy reading this book. If you like this book, check out the other books that Claire Swinarski has written, such as What Happened to Rachel Riley and Take It From the Top, and her first book, What Happens Next. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next First Chapter Friday Read Aloud.